Okay, on this wet and rainy day, we're going to explore historic Market Square. We're going down to the Spanish Governor's Palace. Let's go have a Bible study. We are here at one of my favorite places in San Antonio. We'll talk about that why in a little while. This is the Spanish Governor's Palace. It's one of the most beautiful places that we have here in San Antonio. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the front. And what a beautiful place this is. This is the entrance. Go ahead. Let me give you a reading into what this says right here.
Thank you, you too.
Spanish Governor's Palace has been designated a registered National Historic Landmark. It's pretty amazing to look into the past as things come forward. This guy is the Conquistador. This is what the men would have been looking like that walked through here. Came in discovery. Let me take a look at this. If you haven't been out here, this is the time. I believe these are blue bonnets. What a beautiful area that this is. They do a panel. We have a well. Walking on our Bible study. What a beautiful area to come visit. Look at this fountain. Oh, nice. So if y'all have never been out here, let me introduce you to the main attraction. Little known fact about this area, the most historic part is that bench that we're looking at right there, this is where I proposed to my wife. Yep, that's where I asked her if she would be my wife forever. And I don't know if you know this, but she said yes. Hey, welcome from the Spanish Governor's Palace. Like I said, this seat that I'm sitting in is where I proposed to my wife, and yes, she did say yes. So Anyway, you probably saw some footage of this. This is a beautiful place right in the middle of San Antonio, right in the heart of San Antonio, surrounded by beautiful flowers, beautiful history. Like I said, man, I would live in a place that was like this. This place is amazing. But today we're gonna keep on continuing with our summer staycation Bible studies, and it's how creation grows our faith. How creation grows our faith. Right now I hear birds chirping, I see flowers everywhere. And yes, you may say this is man-made, but it couldn't have been made without the hands of God creating it first. Well, Hebrews 11:3 says, by faith we understand that the universe was formed at God's command, so that what is seen was not made out of what is visible. Well, think about it. Everything you see has been created by God. Everything that is around us. Had an argument with my daughter. I said, yes, a man made that building, but guess who made the elements to be able to make that building? God did. Well, part one is about when was a time you were out in nature and you saw something so impressive that it reminded you that God was real. Well, I'm telling you right now, I'm out. I may be in the middle of the city, but there's still nature around me. God created every single thing that you see. He didn't even have to use his hands to make it all. God spoke and it came into existence from nothing. Can you imagine that? Our God is so great that he spoke and something formed from nothing. Genesis 1:3 says, and God said, let there be light, and there was light. On the first day of creation, God made light just by saying it. So what does that teach us about God? That he is able to speak into things and that they are created. Well, by faith, we understand that the universe was formed at God's command, so that what is seen was not made out of what is visible. So basically, anything you see was created by God. Everything was made visible by him. Well, what did God create the universe out of? And this is amazing. This is a teenager question. This is a kid question. Well, what did he create it out of nothing? Exactly. There was nothing before God. Before God said, let there be light, there was no light. Think about it. He created it from nothing. Think about it. Some would say that God created it out of his will. That's how great God is, that he can create something out of nothing simply because he wanted to create it. That just because God wants something, it can happen. Sometimes we say we create things, but what is the difference between people creating and something that God created? But we are assemblers, not creators. Did you get that? We are assemblers, not creators. We don't make things out of nothing. We assemble things that already exist to make things and invent things. See, God is the only one who actually creates anything. Creation stations. You ever play those toy games and things like that? Well, we have those because God created them. Well, God's creation, this universe tells us many things about God if we will just look around and see it. See, this world is so perfectly designed that it does not make sense that it was created randomly or by accident. Design tells us that there is a designer. The creation teaches us about God if we are ready to look, listen, and learn. See, in Psalms 19, 1-2, the heavens declare the glory of God, the skies proclaim the works of his hands. Day after day they pour forth speech, night after night they reveal his knowledge. How do the heavens declare God's glory? It's starting to rain. They say it comes from the heavens. The skies proclaim the work of his hands. If the sky is so big and beautiful, just imagine the one who created it. Imagine that. I'm sitting here and it's starting to rain. I better go find shelter. We'll be back in a bit. So how do the heavens declare the glory of God? The skies proclaim the works of his hands. If the sky is that big and beautiful, just imagine the one's hands who created it. Now, how can we listen to what they have to say? See, day after day, they reveal knowledge. Have you ever seen the same sky twice? No. Day after day, God reveals new creation. Well, when an atheist sees a beautiful sunset, they don't get the same thing as a Christian would. See, the message is just not the same when you don't believe God exists and that he created the beauty we find in nature. If the heavens are pouring forth speech, then maybe we should be listening, don't you think? What kind of things does nature tell us about God and of his creation? Well, that he's all-powerful. God is creative. God is taking care of his creation. How does looking at the beauty, size, and complexity of this creation help grow your faith in God who created all things? Think about it. I'm thinking about, right now I'm getting rained on, and it's okay, because guess what? It's a creation of God. I'm going to use it. Right now I'm looking at the water. It's going to hit these plants. They're going to get even more beautiful. Well, this week, I want you to spend some time outside. I want you to go out. Yes, I'm in the middle of the city, but I can still see the beauty of God's hands at work. Go to your yard, go outside in a park, or really just anywhere and take a look at creation. Look at people watch. God created them. See what you notice. What does it have to teach you about God? Well, maybe you notice a leaf on the ground. You know, you pick it up and you see just how complex that one tiny leaf is, really, when you look at it closely. Then think about the billions and trillions of leaves that are on the earth right now and how they are just as complex. That tells us something about God's greatness and his power. Next, take a look at your hands, your arms, your feet, even your eyes. See how complex and wonderful God made you. That teaches us something about God if we are willing to look, listen, and learn. So my prayer for you today is that God will open your eyes to the beauty and complexity of nature, that through God, our faith will grow and teach us something about him. Well, that's me from a rainy Spanish governor's palace. I'll see you next week. Be blessed. Bye-bye.